Welcome. Tonight is December 7th, 2024, and I thought I'd do a very quick video here showing what an amazing night sky we have at the moment. So this is set for 8 o'clock tonight, which is just about the time right now, looking south here in South Florida. Now, that red line, let me straighten out the sky here a bit. Maybe. There we go. As I straighten out the sky there, that red line is called the ecliptic. That's sort of the highway in the sky where all of the planets and the sun and the moon travel. The reason it's like that is because we live in a flat solar system. And of course, it's called the ecliptic because that's where eclipses occur. So check out this sky tonight, okay? So setting in the west right now, we have super bright Venus. So the size of the dot indicates how bright these objects are. So you see Venus, incredibly bright setting right now. Now, just a few nights ago, everybody was excited. There was, if we backtrack here, so here's the clock here for December 7th. If I go back just a couple nights, you see how close that crescent moon and Venus were a couple nights ago. That was really beautiful. Some people are calling Venus the Christmas star, based on the famous part of the Bible where there's a star in the east and so forth. But anyway, moving ahead to tonight, you see the moon now is catching up to Saturn. And I want to talk a lot about Saturn here in a minute because there's something kind of cool I wanted to share with you about that. But the star of the show tonight is really Jupiter, because tonight Jupiter is at what we call opposition. It's on the exact opposite side of the sun from the Earth. So Sun, Earth, Jupiter. It's when Jupiter's at its closest and brightest and best. You see it over here more in the east coming up right now. It's starting to get high enough in the sky where it's really good to view it. But even looking around that area, it's amazing. So right here, right to the right of it here, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but that's the Hyades cluster and a bright reddish star there called Aldebaran. That's part of Taurus. And then here you have the famous Pleiades cluster, which is the best star cluster in the sky for photography and even for binoculars and so forth. We also have out right up here the Andromeda Galaxy, which is, sort of the premier galaxy for astrophotographers. And then if we move forward in the night a little bit, so this is at 8 o'clock, look at this, we get up to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Now look at the sky, you've got Mars coming up, and of course mighty Orion with the Orion Nebula. So it's just an all-star sky right now. But let me go back here a little bit. I want to share something special about Saturn. So definitely take a look at Jupiter because it's at its very best. But I want to share something about Saturn. If I click on Saturn here, let me center it there and zoom in. And when you zoom in, I took a picture of it a couple of nights, I guess last night with the students. And I may try again tonight. So look at this. If we zoom way in, you notice that the rings are not very tilted. Saturn's rings are always tilted the same amount, 27 degrees, because that's the tilt of the planet. But what happens is, like let's say my hand is the planet, when it's a Saturnian summer and winter, it's kind of tilted like this or like this towards the Earth. But when it's fall or spring, it's tilted like this, and those rings practically disappear. Now, when I say practically, check this out. So this is this year, 2024. What's going to happen? I'm going to go over here to the date and change it to 2025. Watch. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? So next year, the rings will practically disappear. Like in a telescope, you just won't see them. And that's because they're so thin. They're tens of thousands of miles wide. You could put several Earths across on each side. But in terms of the depth, they're like the size of maybe a house or a building. They're the depth, and you're looking at them from, a billion miles away or whatever it is. So it's, they're just incredibly thin, literally like paper thin. And so next year they'll practically disappear. So it won't be, look at this, until 2026 when they start reappearing. And just to show you how this works, Saturn takes about 30 years roughly to go around the sun. So 30 divided by 4, what is that? 7.5. So every season on Saturn is about 7.5 years. So look at the difference here when we go up towards the Saturnian, summer or winter, whichever. depending on which hemisphere we're talking about. But look at that. Look at the difference. So some years Saturn is the rings are spectacular. So right now is not a very good year, but guess what? Next year they practically disappear. So I thought I'd just share a little bit of that with you. But there's a lot of great stuff going on in the sky. Even Uranus is out right now. So it's just chock full of stuff. And again, if you wait a little later at night, Mars itself comes up. So happy sky watching.